Okay, roll call to determine if we have quorum. Steve Conant.
Here.
Dina Walker. Here. Lisa Miller, present. So we have quorum. Before we got started with old business, I just want to do updates from any of the departments that are here or committees. Does anyone have any questions? Robert has an update because we have a new town employee.
Oh, yeah, we do. The buildings and grounds guy, Jacob. Yep,
Yep, hired a new buildings and groundkeeper that started. He's doing a very good job,
yep.
so that's good.
And we got the prices on the equipment. One went down $800. The trailer stayed the same, but the mileage to get it here has gone up $300.
Okay.
And the bucket stayed the same.
Okay. And then, for the warrant articles, I just need, somewhere written down a copy of the make, model, and the price.
Oh, yeah, I got it all here.
Perfect. So, yeah, you could just make a photocopy for me. That would be great.
Yep.
Corey?
Yes. So today, this morning, we met with two architectural firms discussing the plans for what we'd like to do with the new planned fire station. So the first one we met with was WBRC, and the second one was Plymouth Engineering. And we had a very good, informative meeting with both. They gave us a lot of good information. So we kind of just went over what we'd like to do. One of the things that we told them is we'd like to try to keep with the historical aesthetics of the town, whatever we do, and different things that we need with a new fire station, and looking ahead for the next 50 to 100 years. We'd rather plan big than plan too small, you know. And there's, so it was a very good, informative meeting. We also received a new order of radios, and we got over $10,000 worth of radios, but $5,000 of that was through a grant from the Peter Schofield grant. And so it's to my assumption that we won't have to have any special meeting or anything like that to accept those, correct? Whereas that is not really, you know, we didn't spend $10,000 more, so.
Yep.
So we're looking at some positive things with that. We also talked to both firms about the possibility of, our interest is maybe at some point introducing more EMS into the Weld area. And we're going to reach out to other agencies in the area and see if there's a possibility that maybe Maine Health EMS, if they may be looking for possibility of housing an ambulance. If we could plan accordingly, and if we can find out enough and plan for the new station, maybe we could have adequate facilities for that. So in the real near future, we're going to be finding out more about that. That's the latest update from the Weld Fire Department.
Okay. Anyone else from any other committees or departments? Okay. We'll move move on to old business. We need to approve the minutes from the March 17th Select Board meeting. Can I have a motion for approval?
Motion to accept?
I second it for discussion.
Okay.
Is this the one that is the latest with the comments that I had put in?
No, the
This is
latest
317.
one is the March 27th one.
No, those 317 one was previously because you hadn't had a
Right.
chance to review the comments.
Right.
So is this the one that we're approving, or is this the original that was?
So this is, okay, so the one that I would like to approve is the original one. I've had conversation with another town clerk about, minutes. And the discussions that we have about how minutes are taken and recorded. And that town clerk's information that she gave to me in the manuals that they're given is that the town clerk's notes are the town clerk's notes. That we shouldn't be editing them and taking information out of them. We can correct information that's not correct. Names and dates and things like that. But that the minutes should be not edited so much for the content.
Okay. That's not my understanding from rules for municipal government. I don't really know what another town does, and they can have their own procedures and rules. I don't think our minutes are streamlined enough in that, again, if the notes are accurate and complete, then they wouldn't be edited. And they're not edited, they're just deleted. I'm not editing any of those, and I think when we are to approve them, we have to approve what we said at the meeting. Not all of it was complete, some were highlighted, some were not. And that's why I think the comments should stand. And the original ones I would not be approving. And we have a recording as well. I don't know what their towns do, but we have a recording. If anybody wants to hear what is said back and forth, can go to the recording.
My feedback would be that I don't know if it's specific to town government. In the boards that I've been on in the past, the secretary who's recording the minutes, those minutes are taken to the best of the secretary's knowledge. If there are corrections to be made, or in terms of errors and things, then the board approaches the secretary to make those corrections and it's distributed. But if town government, if municipal government has different rules for that, then that would be, I don't know of that, so it would be nice if we did have that clarity. But my impression would be that the minutes that are taken, in this case by Carol in most cases, that's what we should go with unless we feel that there's an error in those minutes.
Yes, I agree with that, and I did find that there were errors, and I did correct them, in that things were covered, summarized differently than what was said.
Well, I think
And we're just dealing with the motions and the votes, and let the recording speak for itself, and those are the rules that I have checked. If you want to check differently, no problem.
well, to be clear, you've made in several of the meetings, you've made blanket omissions
That's
of the
right,
comments.
That's
And
right.
That's not a correction, that's an omission.
that's a deletion. It's a
Yes.
correction in that the other comments were not made, therefore those comments should not be made.
To the best of the secretary's ability, we trust that we have a secretary that's capturing the minutes.
We also
If
have
there's-
it that we approve, we are supposed to approve it.
So, in looking at the MMA manual for minutes, it says in the manual that there's more than one method of recording the minutes.
Absolutely,
And that a narrative can be one of the methods.
if it's accurate.
Well, I agree. I mean, it does have to be accurate,
Yeah.
but not deleting.
You can take the
Yeah,
time to
so.
change it, but I don't have the time to change it. So when you delete something, it's a correction as well. It doesn't mean it's not corrected. What is left is accurate.
One of the things that may help is Barbie had shared the tool. It's an AI tool that captures the minutes for us.
Absolutely.
And I started to look into it. it appears and correct me if I'm wrong, Barbie, if I may approach, we already have an account with that tool. Because it says, oh, you know, when I went in for Town of Weld, using my Town of Weld email, it said you already have an account.
We did,
Can we use that account for the same purpose?
we can. It would be preferable.
It sounds like we have a
use that.
solution that would actually to make it easier for Carol to capture the minutes, understanding that AI is AI and it's going to do its best, but there may be errors there as well.
Right.
We all look at that when we see, you know, just look at Facebook Reels and things like that. There's, the comments are,
Absolutely.
there's typos there, or there's incorrect phrases and use of words.
I think we've agreed from last meeting even that
Yep.
otter would be wonderful
Yep.
going forward. We're still talking about the March 17th minutes. So we can take a vote and decide.
What if
I think we talked about this quite a bit.
What if until we have the tool available, we've gone through several acceptances of minutes where there've been basically blanket deletions of comments because the thought was they were incomplete. What if we accept these minutes and the next minutes that are coming up with the understanding that we will utilize Otter as soon as we can, perhaps even for the next select board meeting?
With the corrections.
And we would have to review after, accept them with the changes
Mhm.
as proposed,
Mhm.
but with the understanding that we would use Otter for future meetings, Otter or whatever tool, and each see if there were changes that we need to make based on the Otter feedback or Otter comments. Is that fair?
So you're saying, suggesting that for the March
Accept them.
17th minutes, to accept them with my
With the
comments? Okay,
Yeah. And the same for the next coming up minutes.
okay, that I circulated today. That's
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We ready then?
Yep.
All right, we have a vote on the motion to, I think we'll need a new motion to accept the March 17th minutes with the corrections made from Dina.
So amending the motion to, so second on the amendment of the motion. Any discussion? Well, sorry.
No, you're good.
I think she said it, just,
Yeah.
you want a motion?
Right, I'm on a motion. So you
Yeah,
second it.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Okay.
Second.
Okay,
okay. All in favor?
aye.
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 And then we still have to vote on the original motion, right? Because the original motion was,
That's why I wanted it amended.
Yeah,
We amended the original motion.
if you're making an amendment.
yeah,
you-
go ahead, do it. Yeah,
So-
I agree.
Okay.
The way it's supposed to work, you have you have a motion on the table. I know it's a formality and we're small, we don't really care, but technically, if you have a motion on the table and you're amending that motion, you vote on the amendment,
And then-
then you vote on the motion.
Yeah.
okay.
So I would say, we've already voted on the amendment, so now
Oh.
we need the motion, we need to vote on the motion.
Okay,
So the
So-
motion, you want to say the motion?
I was gonna say. So can I have a motion that will approve the March 17th minutes as we amended?
As amended by, yeah. I,
So moved.
okay, I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the last thing that I have written here for old business is just an update on the warrant articles for the upcoming special town meeting. I did circulate a draft of the articles last Monday. Colleen made some corrections to that. I didn't hear anything else back at this point. I did send them off yesterday to Peter Hall, our auditor, for his comments. I think he's out of the office right now. That was the email response I got, but he did say he would look at them as soon as possible. And then I did also send them off to MMA Legal for comment.
I think we need to table the discussion. Dina had provided some feedback.
Oh, I
It
didn't
came-
see that.
Just
Just came
today. I
through.
was
Oh,
away
I
I
while
think we
you
need to
sent it,
table
so-
this and allow us some more time to review it at a later date.
All right, I was just bringing, I just wanted to make sure we were
Yeah,
all up to
thank
date
you.
on the
Yeah,
same.
I got your email on that update, yep.
Yeah.
So we'll review it again once
Yes,
all those components are
once-
collected.
Correct.
Right, okay,
Yep,
sounds great.
yes. All right, is there any other old business that is not on here that anyone wishes to discuss? All right, on to new minutes. The first thing is to approve the select board minutes from the March 27th select board meeting, so that's the last one that we did.
So a motion to accept the minutes from March 27th with the changes as proposed?
Okay, I agree. Second.
All right, and my only question and for discussion is at the top of the, I did see you commented at
Yeah.
the top about, I don't remember the exact wording.
The discussion,
Taking
basically.
out all the discussion but only leaving in the motions, is
Yes.
that what we're gonna do for
That's my
those
comment.
meetings or minutes? Is that, I mean, I know there were some other corrections in there, so I wasn't sure if we were just gonna keep the other corrections,
The
you
other
know, for some
corrections,
wording.
yeah, is because the motions, there were some errors that needed, like the names and all that stuff and punctuation. But I didn't correct any of the
Correct,
actual comments.
yes.
But the broad suggestion is, yes, let's take away the he said, she said, because not all of it was captured. Again, if we're gonna capture it, we will later, and those are my suggested changes.
Okay?
Agree.
All right. All right, can I,
We
you
have
have a
a
vote?
motion.
You have a motion?
A
Do
second,
we vote? Okay. All approved?
all approved.
Aye. All right. The treasurer's report was circulated by Colleen. Everyone have a chance to review the treasurer's report? I know she's sitting back there. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's-
probably just me not knowing. Bottom line, we've used more than half of our budget. 482,690 spent, 944,000 in the budget, showing only a 37% spend. I assume that because some of the line items are not budgeted? Is that, if you go to the bottom?
Correct. So we don't have school or county in there yet?
I saw that RSU 9 county tax accounted for, what, $300,000 worth of spend, and it doesn't
We-
appear that we budget for that.
We don't budget for that until we commit the taxes.
Got
So
it.
there's no beginning budget on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why it looks like we spent so much and we're only, okay.
Okay. Do we need to approve the treasurer's report?
I just,
Just the.
I will probably use this, I think it's helpful that we have it every periodically. I probably will be using this for discussion of our next topics. So.
Okay.
On the budget report on MMA expenses, does that whittle down how many I put in? Do you get the bill on that, Carol? Does it say that Becky Durant Bynum took this course, and this is how much you owe?
Oh.
Training.
That's
yes.
under
We'll-
training.
we're- we're
For
gonna-
training.
We'll be talking.
We'll
Oh.
be getting there, we're not
Oh,
there
okay.
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mike Stevenson, our CEO, and planning board, they have proposed, permit fee schedule increase. And he can't be here tonight, so he said that either Barbie or Carol Conant could speak to that, answer any questions. Would you like to, either of you like to comment on the proposed increases?
We as a board, he came to us and showed us the fees that he wanted to increase things to and just discussed things with us, just as a conversation across the table to the time that it takes for him to do the job. So and the fees evidently in the past have not been adjusted as time has gone on. It's been quite a good chunk of time since those have gone up. He finds himself, if he has to go look at things that he's supposed to be looking at, hazardous trees, that sort of thing. He does not go out and see all applications. that come to the planning board as a code enforcement officer to, whether it be on the water or otherwise, he couldn't commit to saying that he does do that. And I think it's in the best interest of the town that he does. I haven't seen a job description of his. He didn't say that he had necessarily one, but I would think that some of those fees should match up with his job description. So we have reviewed these, and I think as a group, everybody had a chance over a couple of weeks or a couple of sessions to put their 2 cents into where time is spent, because he doesn't, the position and timing and fees are, when he receives a application, reviews it, then comes to the board, there's a lot of things that are missing. So then it goes back to him and to work with the applicant. So, which we are, addressing through some automation coming up very soon. But just to hear what he had to say about how he does his job and the time that is spent doing his job, these fees make that reasonable.
They'll help offset.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Because right now, from what I understand, what we collect in fees pays for our stipends and his pay. And right now, he's not able to log in all of his time because of the fee schedule, and they're not equally.
My feedback would be that I would agree that we need to, who knows when the last time was we increased the fees for the permitting. I think it's important, and it's almost like it's 2 different things. It's important that the CEO goes out and assesses every site if there's a permit application. If he hasn't seen it, and then that permit is presented to the board, they don't know. How do you vote for something that you don't know that he's already assessed? So it's important that he has the ability to go out and visit it. So it's tied 1 for 1. If we're raising the fees, then the expectation needs to be that he's going to assess every permit site, visit that site, assess it.
And I think this will enable him to be able to do that.
I think it needs to be a requirement.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we have a new LUP application online. Carol has gotten the payment link for us. So as soon as the fee schedules are determined, we can put that online on the website.
So would the job description for him have to be updated to say that it is a requirement for him to visit every new job site for the applications that are applied, for people that are applying for the permits, as Steve said?
I would think we need to make that clear somehow, whether it sounds like it needs to be in your roles and responsibilities.
From my understanding, I think the fee schedule is excellent. I think the fact that we, like I said, needed to update our fees for quite some time, and the only legal requirement that I know of when it's any fees that we're charging individuals in town is that it has to be reasonable, and these are very reasonable. And I really commend Mike and as well as the planning board committee to actually come together and make actually devote time to make this fee schedule, because this is pure and simple a offset of taxpayers' burden, and any fee that we can do will help earn money for the town so that taxpayers don't have to pay as much for all the services that we do. Whether it's has to be commensurate with the specific duties of the CEO, that's for us to decide. And I think if we want to do that, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of things in terms of planning board side of things that we're trying to update, as I last
Right.
couple of years we're trying to do, including job descriptions, shoreline zoning, all that stuff. But definitely, in terms of job description, we should clarify and see what he's gonna be doing more of, because I know he's gotten busy and it's a description of that job again, more updated, so, yeah.
So, pardon me, on the website, it does, currently says that there's fees, but there's no definition to exactly what those fees are, why.
Mhm.
One says camper. Why? Why do you need a $25 or whatever the fee was or is, fee? Is it for a year? Is it for non-registration ones? Is it just people coming in for a weekend? So having definitions to those fees would be very helpful for the public.
And that'll be updated with
And that,
the,
yes.
Like
We
it
can
is
work
in
Work in
the-
progress, yes.
Yep, we can work on that.
From the
Yep.
valley for 120 days.
Yep. Yeah, if, that way firefighters know that there's gonna be something somewhere that is not a structure, that you have knowledge that something is gonna be there. So,
any other discussion? Could I have a motion that we,
Motion to accept the new fees?
yes,
As proposed by.
as
proposed
proposed
by
by the
the-
planning board committee and the CEO.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next, along the same line with Mike Stevens, is to just address some issues with leaning trees over the parking lot at the town hall. So,
Do you have any background on that?
just what he had originally sent and the photographs. I did drive into the parking lot and assessed and looked at the trees that he had taken the pictures of. And I see what appears to be a property boundary marker,
Okay.
showing that the trees that I saw were on the town property. Do you have any different
So it
information?
is, no, I'm just,
Okay.
I have, legal information, but
Okay.
I wanted to understand the facts, because I know you guys might have talked since I first got wind of
Yeah.
this issue. So you saw the trees
I-
are on our side,
Yep, I counted five
And they're-
that I thought were.
and they're hanging over the parking lot.
They're leaning toward the parking lot, and a couple of them more than others, and I can see why people would be concerned.
So, based on what you said, you would think that the trees that we're trying to cut are on our property line?
Correct.
Okay, on our side, okay. Well, that might make it easier, but, so when I researched this, so Maine courts have consistently held over the years that a property owner has the right to cut back a tree that is overhanging the property line. This is when we thought it might be over another.
Someone else's
Okay?
property.
So, if it's on our side, I think they emphasize that it's really clear, it's really important that we want to be absolutely sure of the boundary lines involved before proceeding with any trimming, since the statute makes it unlawful to cut down or fell a tree without the consent of the owner of the property on which the tree stands. Because then we would have to pay him back, and we could incur a lawsuit.
Sure.
So if the branches technically are not encroaching on the municipality's property, then there likely wouldn't be a justification or legal basis to trim back the branches. There's also, you could be trespassing as well. The municipality could be trespassing them. So if you say there's a marker, that's helpful. But if we have, I guess the question is, he had brought it up, I think, because he understood we were going to do a property.
And that's what I think the marker
Survey.
is from the survey. It's an orange ribbon.
We had asked the Loon surveyor to survey that. My understanding, he hasn't really completed a survey. He might have a ribbon that he put up when he was here last fall before we had much snow, but he hasn't been back in the spring. So anything that's out there is just from that first day. He hasn't finished anything.
Okay.
So I was going to contact him very soon, actually. I have an email to you asking about whether you want him here on Friday. But he hasn't completed anything. So if it's a ribbon, I wouldn't assume it's a known bound.
Question, has anyone approached
I
The
was
abutting
just-
landowner to say,
Brian,
do you
yeah,
mind if
The
we,
person.
in case it isn't that
Yeah,
Yeah.
line, do you mind if we
Yeah.
cut it even if it is over the line?
Right,
I think that seems like the
next step.
most obvious next step,
yeah.
Mhm.
because they may say, oh, hell yeah, go for it.
I think if the person, like, that agrees that's the boundary,
Yeah.
we would have, that's already evidence enough, for me anyway, that you cut it, it's okay.
And, so my next question was, and I don't know if it addresses it
Mhm.
in what your research is, I was wondering if Robert could cut it, having done forestry work for decades, and, you know,
Yeah, any
Definitely
employee,
has a skill set.
of course,
Okay.
anybody representing, sure, as long as I think we establish the boundary.
right?
I
Like,
think talking to the neighbor would be
right,
helpful.
I don't think, personally, I don't think I'd want, of course, just anyone to, one of the trees is quite tall, and the way that it's leaning, it might scrape down the side of the building, so my thought is, you know, to have somebody experienced so that they can pull it in the correct direction, so that we don't incur any damage, of course,
Yeah.
so,
Good job for the excavator.
that, exactly. Okay,
So,
Next actions are then to approach
the abutting landowners,
can we ask Robert to do that?
do you wanna do that, Robert?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay. At least get a verbal confirmation that it is our tree, not their tree, and then I think proceed.
okay.
I think, if I remember right, I think those trees are poplar trees too.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
right by the,
Yeah.
so they tends to be, as most of us know, they're quite brittle, quite hollow, and probably rotten.
Okay. Lori?
If they're in that, if they look like they're coming down, we probably should put something around there so people aren't
I
under
don't-
them.
Right, I don't think there's an immediate danger. I think there's one that's worse than the others, but I think if we get on this and move forward in the next, you know, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, if we can get that done, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, should be able to get that.
Okay, so after you talk to them, will you just
Yep.
let us know? All right, sounds good, and then we'll make a plan to cut it down.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, agenda item number 4, approval for the weldmaine.org email addresses. We currently have 17 people with a weldmaine.org email address, and that costs $8.40 per month per email address. There's been some discussion, a little bit of discussion, and other people wanting to have weldmaine.org email addresses. And I think there's concern about the expense by the time we add all these up. So we thought we would bring this for discussion tonight and try to determine who we feel needs a weldmaine.org email address and maybe who should not have one.
Here's my thought on it, popular or unpopular. So currently we have 17. That's a cost to the town of $1,700 a year, $1,713. My thought is we have committee chairs. Committee chairs make sense to have a town of Weld email, but those committee members, the chair's responsibility then is to distribute amongst the other members. That's my thought. We just, when we look at doing a budget, and I've sat through several budget meetings, not this year unfortunately, but several budget meetings last year, and the thoughts of how we have to approach spend in a very tight budget, we're spending a lot of money on email addresses when there's other things that could be spent, I think could be better spent on. Just my thoughts.
I think that's a,
What are the legal ramifications with us talking amongst all of ourselves and sharing on our personal emails?
good question. That's actually a thought that I had after your comment. So I think your solution is really good from a monetary standpoint of view, absolutely. So from a legal side, we are always having to be cognizant of FOA. And any municipal work that's done on private emails will be considered municipal record. and subject to release under FOA. So when we get any requests for information, if somebody's using a personal email, they have to give up personal emails to the extent they ask, and also, if they wanted to, they can look at their whole thing. Like, somebody can come and sit, and you have to bring your computer and you have to sit through all. Luckily, we haven't done that, but other towns definitely have. So, that's something that legal has said, prying eyes of the public on private email accounts really can discourage people from working for the municipality. And we have so many volunteers that you don't want to subject them to that. But they did suggest a workaround that I think is quite clever. So I think in those email exchanges we had about, instead of first of all having a name for the email address, like our names or something, it would be planning board number 1, planning board number 2,
Then it goes to a group?
No, like a person, like member number 1, not member number 2, okay? But it's on a Gmail account, and Gmail's all free.
Right.
So, going with your
Okay.
solution. The
I see what you're saying.
chair still gets a municipal one, that's fine.
Mhm.
We pay for it.
Mhm.
But the individual, all the committee members, and Weld
Mhm.
Rec, you can have 14, right? You personally make
Okay.
a Gmail account,
Mhm.
and it says Weld Rec committee member 1.
Mhm.
Committee
Each person
member,
gets a
each
number.
one, that's a number.
Okay.
And then every time they need to be advised that that email account will be subject to FOA. So don't use it for, hi,
Anything else,
yeah,
right.
and how are you? I want to go to the party tonight. No, it's only for Weld Rec planning or something.
Mhm.
So then, when we get a FOA request,
Yeah.
that will go to that, sure, no problem. And then that email address can pass on to another member,
Mhm.
so they're not name specific.
So it sounds like a great workaround,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I know in the past, like rec committee,
mhm,
I have the individual's
yeah,
personal email.
yeah.
Would FOA know that, wait a minute, you might have sent something directly to their personal email and say,
Yeah.
no, we still need your,
Yeah.
would they
You
still
would,
come
because
after
we're in
their,
this, yes, because we would be in this transition.
but would they, even after they
After
have-
we institute this policy, no.
Okay, okay,
So,
so we're still protected.
yeah, because they would ask, and they, a FOA request, they would have to say from what date to what date, like,
Okay.
there are rules as to how far
Mhm.
back you go. But with this time period, let's say somebody is using their personal email now and transitioning, they've been doing work on the fire station stuff.
Mhm.
The personal email is subject to FOA
Mhm. For a time period.
for a time period,
Mhm.
until you stop, yeah.
Corey?
How would that pertain to the fire department, like the assistant chief and the secretary?
Well, they already have the wellname.org. Yep, that would stay.
Okay, so,
But the
Assistant chief and
members,
secretary have one.
the fire department
Right.
members, we would be doing the same
So-
Gmail.
would the fire chief be considered the same or the equal to like a chair? I mean,
Yes.
you
Yeah, your
talk
department
about-
department heads and committee heads, yep.
I think we should, this is helpful that we're having a
Yeah.
discussion, but once we decide on the rule for
Who
us,
gets what?
we should write it down
Mhm.
and make sure, they are. And I even had a question, committee, because to me, we are a committee, we're a
Right.
special committee. Planning board is a special committee,
Yeah.
but does that mean only the chair gets the municipal?
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, so we should clarify in our policy, basically. But I think it's a good, but cost-wise, I think it's a great line to set, like for all committees, maybe other than select board and planning board. I don't know and we would want everybody to set up Gmail accounts, personal Gmail accounts,
Mhm.
with the understanding that those are subject to FOA, so don't do anything other than town business on those.
Mhm.
And not name them,
Mhm.
personalize them. So all the personalized
idea.
ones, we might need to change, if that makes sense, or get rid of.
Mhm.
You are now number 9.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just need to write a policy.
Yeah,
a
if we
small
agree on
policy
this
for
right
that.
now, yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't have-
I'm happy to draft something for
Okay.
everybody, or unless you want to. I don't
No,
care.
that's good.
Okay.
Cool.
Um,
Next solution.
Okay, and then as far as the list that we have right now, the 17 people, Barbie Castangwe, because she's the website administrator. Carol Conant as planning board. Would that have to switch to Gmail? Because it would go to Mike, well, Mike has one, Michael Stevens.
Naomi is the
Has
the
his
chair.
CEO.
Yeah.
Naomi's the chair.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think so.
Yep, okay. And then Carol Cochran and Colleen,
And it could
Corey,
even- It could even be the same for us.
Dina, Liz, Weld Rec News, myself, Lee
If we wanted to do it as a
Spoffinger,
cost-cutting measure, we could
Mhm.
do the same thing.
road commissioner, the secretary, Steve, Stan is assistant fire chief. That could go either way, truthfully.
Yeah.
Heavy equipment operator could probably also go either way if we were trying to cut any of the expenses. And then Weld Rec would go to the committee chair.
Yeah, but I think the email addresses, I think we should use this exercise to change everything to the titles. Because we have, like, for us, it should actually just be select one,
Right.
other towns do that. And then it's actually easier to communicate too.
So you want everybody to change to Gmail? Not have a Weld, or not have a weldmain.org?
So, no, I'm just
Okay,
saying,
I didn't think
I'm just
so.
saying okay, I see what you're trying to say. Because we are on Gmail.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We already
Yes,
are.
we are.
But we don't say gmail.com.
Right.
So everybody else is gonna
It's gonna be
be
Gmail.
title@gmail.com. But I'm saying right now, even within weld-main.org, we have some with names, some with titles. I think we should
Okay.
use this time to
Switch
clean
all
all-
the titles,
yeah.
yep. Okay, I see what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
These-
yes.
Like mine is, ACO, Weld ACO, I think that's helpful. If I just had a random Gmail, that would not be helpful when I'm contacting someone in the general public. My name isn't on it at all.
Right.
So I
It's the
think,
same with with a lot of them, actually, it's not the
I
same.
think if it's a title,
Yeah.
then you should, that's worth keeping. That if it was just if I switched to just a Lisa Boffinger at Gmail, why would anyone reply to me, especially if they were mad at me? Which they often are. Well, they are if I'm saying something mean about their pet. It's hard to believe anyone could be mad at me, but they are.
Whatever.
I guess my only other thought that just came to my mind is, as the select board people, we do have the business cards
Yeah,
in the office.
yeah.
So,
I feel like, I think that's a really good point. I think
Yeah,
maybe
oh,
the
absolutely.
line should also be if you're an officer or official, we're the only officers, the officials that interact with the public quite a lot, that the weld-main.org is helpful. So I think the road commissioner
Yes.
should say, and the HEO, whoever has to write emails with the public. And then for us right now, maybe we should plan for a transition period, maybe the next election, because right now you have so many things that already know you from your email address.
yes.
That it might be very difficult to transition that and us all staying abreast of all that. But I think the rule in the policy we can write is that anyone who is the head of a committee, the select board, the planning board, officials that interact with the public
The fire-
regularly.
Road commissioner, the fire
Yeah,
department.
that all department heads are considered chairs of their committee,
Yep.
Maybe I'll write this and then we can
Okay.
discuss it
Yeah.
more.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, moving on. The next agenda item, did I skip one? No, I didn't. Barbie Castangwe has a couple things to present to us as our website administrator. One is a proposal to link our select board meeting recordings to the website. Do you want to tell us about that one first?
Right now, with the website developer that we have, in order to link the recordings on the website, it's going to be an additional $62.50 for them to develop that box.
Is that per month or per year?
No, just a one-time fee.
A one-time fee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other thing is, I have done some searching on several different websites and found that WordPress is $300 a year. Right now, we're paying close to $700 a year for what the plan that we have through Intuitive. WordPress is a lot more user-friendly. It's a lot more attractive. It's very intuitive, and it is much less expensive. They will host us on their server. It's a government level server, so we wouldn't have to worry about security. The first year, we would not have to, we have our own URL. We can transfer that to the new site at no fee. They will even create the site for us if we want them to. I've kind of started a mock-up of what I'd like the website to look like. But the first year would be free for our domain. The second year would be $275 a month. So you're looking at the second year would be $330. That's a lot better than
6:17 p.m.
Hush. Than $700.
$330.
The second year. The first year is $300
Oh, okay.
for a business plan.
So right now, we're paying $700?
We're paying,
a
I
month?
think, $678, Colleen, right? Something like that.
Sorry, yeah.
I think that's what we paid last year.
So over $3,600 a year less.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
And sounds like more possibilities for what we want to do with
Yeah.
the website as well.
My desire is to, I'm very proud of this town. I grew up in this town, my grandparents and my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents were all born here. And I'd like to showcase our town. Doesn't mean we have to get more people in it, but I'd like to have more people involved in the development of the site. And I'd like more input, and I'd like to have just more people look at it and be proud of what we have here in our little small 416 people town.
Anyone have any questions?
I have some questions.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great proposal, and I think it's high time we did something, you know, to that level for the website in terms of the just expenses. This is all about expenses, and I guess the transition. So I think if I didn't have the proposal for changing the website, I would definitely approve the $62.50 to upload the recordings, because it's a one-time fee,
Right.
and it would solve so many of our problems right now. So let's say we are entertaining both proposals, and that I see that for our town website budget for this year, as approved by town, is $750. That covers basically the expense for Intuitive, right, the maintenance. So now it seems like it's only gonna be $300, so we will spend only half our budget, which is great.
Correct.
So does that mean like recording and all that, it's all uploadable on WordPress, free, in that 300?
It is.
Okay. Does this mean that all the agendas, everything that we're doing now, it's all going to be covered in that 300?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bit of work on my part, but yes.
Okay. So, and then in terms of permission, because right now, we can have unlimited users.
And we can as well.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be just you posting things, other people can help,
No, I
okay.
would prefer it not to be.
Right,
just
because
me.
it's a lot, yeah. So everybody, okay, and then, so all the permissions, it's the same. That's great. And in terms of transition, so would you want us to approve for the $62.50 now? And
That's
then
your choice. It's
Uh,
gonna be It's gonna be a couple of weeks at least before the new site can get created.
Okay.
I don't know how long it will take.
Approve the 6250 to solve
Yes.
the immediate
All right,
problem.
great, I just
Yeah.
wanted
And
to
then
understand,
approve,
yeah,
I think it's 2 motions.
great.
Approve the new website provider and move forward with
Great.
that as well.
Is there any type of fee or penalty that we would have with Aptuitive for ending services with
I
them?
don't know that. I
You should
can,
probably look at the contract.
Do we have a contract
Yes.
with them?
We do.
Is there a
Yes.
termination of contract clause in it?
You gotta look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
So why don't we,
Approve the
I'll make a
62.
motion to approve the 6250 to amend the website to allow us to link the meeting recordings.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and then I think we need to look at the contract
Yeah.
before we can, I think we would like to move forward, but we
Yeah.
better make sure
Yeah.
of, you know,
You can look at it, yeah,
Anything.
you wanna look at it?
Yeah.
That'd be great, yeah.
So table this till the next meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
Good with you?
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments about that? All right. The next thing on the agenda is just to approve the financial audit from 2024.
I reviewed it, I don't have any questions. You ready
Right.
to approve it?
Motion to
Okay,
accept 2024 financial audit.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, training budgets for trainings, MMA, and others. What I wrote on the agenda should be approved by the select board and only enrolls if the training pertains to the person's job in town. For example, the general government training budget is $1,000, and that is already quickly being used up for our 2026 fiscal year. So that's the proposal. Can I don't,
This
Let's
is,
make
this is a tough one for me. I came from a company where they were always pushing, train, you need to expand your horizons, train. And then the department had a budget. And the department was like, what the heck are you doing? You're spending all this money training. Well, HR is encouraging me to train, and my manager's encouraging me to train. But I think we need to come to a line there. If we have a budget that's worked so hard to, where are you? So hard to achieve. And if we're blowing it out of the water, we're only 4 months into the year, we're doing something wrong. I see your point about the training pertaining to the person's job. Certainly, we're going to have some changes in jobs coming up in the very near future that's going to require training. There already are some changes that are requiring training, but being pertinent is absolutely correct. You know, if you're leading a department, your department is leading a committee. Your committee works with you, but you don't necessarily manage that committee. You're not hiring and firing. So I think it's important that the training is relevant.
mhm. Barbie, you had sent an email to Sandy, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see that there was any reply back to that, but there was a question, could people pay for their own training that would be outside of their department if they wanted to take it? So we were trying to find out that information, but I didn't see that.
There is a place that when you
Reply.
register for an event, there is a place where you can pay for it for yourself.
But we were looking at, I think the question was, because we're members of MMA,
And it
could
still
the,
charges you the MMA membership fee.
okay, so she did get back to you and clarify
Yeah.
that? Okay, I didn't.
Oh, she said
see that.
yes?
Yes.
Oh, great,
Yep.
even
So
better.
Okay.
I just registered for an event on the 28th. It's an all-day event and it pertains to budgeting. It was $95. I paid for it myself because this had come out and I really wanted to go to
Mhm.
it, because I think it's pertinent to what the budget committee does.
Mhm. So that's something, so you were able to pay for it right on the website when
I
you
did.
register?
Yep, yep.
At the
And-
membership rate.
And I think it's
That's great.
important too, it's not that we're discouraging training. I think perhaps next year, when it comes time to the budget, we review what we want to do for training, because the budget committee is important. It's probably the biggest, most important thing that we have in the town. And if that budget committee can be better educated in how to establish a budget, not just the committee chair, then it's in our best interest for those people to get the training necessary. And we just don't have the money to do that right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So back to my question, because when I went through it, when I got to the end of it, it said the post office box, Weld, Maine. So then I want to pay for my own. So back to my question, I think I have 3 coming up in May that I would like to write a check for the town of Weld for those and leave the money in the budget for the folks that maybe can't afford it.
So you're already registered for
I am.
those 3? But I think one of them, absolutely, because you were taking a municipal budgeting and finance class.
Yes.
So that you are the chairperson of the budget committee, so we don't want you to have to pay for that one, like.
But
Well,
when you want to, you can.
yeah, okay,
Anytime.
so, okay.
Just
So
write a
is, then I can write a check and bring a check down and you'll accept a check
Yeah.
for what I
Absolutely.
owe the town. And leave it for the other folks that maybe can't afford it or whatever. I can
Donation
afford
always
it.
welcome.
Okay.
I think I agree with all the comments. I think training is really, really important, especially, it seems from my 6 year, this is my 6th year on board, that we have not put a lot of money in the general government training, but in the other departments, because general government seem very miscellaneous.
Right.
But quite honestly, all the laws, any updated policy, all that stuff is general government. So I think Steve is right. My suggestion was that, we were trying to, a budget committee really wanted to keep that tight this year, which is
Right.
fine, and we accepted it. But now we see, actually, all these trainings need to happen. And maybe before, we didn't do it every year. It was like every time we had a new group of people or something. But I really recommend we have a robust training budget going forward, and so we don't have this problem every other year or every 3, 4, 5 years. And then in terms of looking at the expense summary report from Colleen, our latest one, training under general government right now is that the spend is 21%. So we're about third way in, so it's doesn't seem
That's what
too
we've
high.
been billed for, but
That's
what-
there's
right.
others that are registered for.
Okay, and also we do approve, as you know, we approve all expenses. That's what we do every 2 week with disbursements. So, and I think this line about, pertaining to the training, pertaining to the person's job is very good. I don't really want to go to, the board has to approve it on top of that, because it seems like we're having 2 bites at the apple. And that seems, we can be subjective. And I think when we have a policy in there, everybody should be involved in training, this is the guideline, then that's enough. But not us just saying, this person can get it, or that person can get it. Just stay away from that kind of.
Right. No, I just wanted the select board to approve the general that, pertaining to the person's job, that part of it.
Yeah.
Not that we're
Understood.
approving individual
Great, yeah.
classes or
Okay,
anything like that.
yeah.
And also, real quick, just for that, I think from looking at the budget and everything, the training expenses, or, the money that we put aside for the other departments, such as fire and transfer station, that's adequate, but I do feel like the training for the general government, because we do cover so many areas, I think that it probably would be a good thing to increase it next year. Colleen?
So for the public safety, for instance, the training, that's their payroll as well. They get paid out of that.
Yeah.
With general government, we get paid out of our payroll account. So the training is just for the cost of the class.
Correct.
And then we have mileage if it's not a Zoom or something.
Correct.
So it does help keep that down.
Can I make a suggestion that we track how much we're spending?
Yes.
That way, when it comes time for the budget committee to do their process, we have a little bit more insight as to
how much we've spent in the past year.
Right. We do track, I mean, Colleen
We do.
tracks it.
Yeah, she
So
does,
we just
but
get-
if we're paying it for by ourselves,
Oh, you mean that
definitely.
part?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I
Absolutely.
see,
And
yeah.
you
you
give
know,
us that
maybe
data.
we create a
Yes.
spreadsheet that we
Yes.
can share with everybody. Okay, I've paid this amount of money,
Mhm.
you know.
That's very good.
Sure.
I see.
You could just submit to me when you do that, and I'll keep track of it.
Okay,
Oh, that's great idea.
Yeah.
Then it'll all be in one place.
perfect.
And I recommend that worksheet that I started using for the budget
Mm-hmm.
process, the blurbs, if you can, Colleen or a budget committee, as we look at these expenses, if we can match it to the blurb describing that line item, we will be clear next year of what is this like. We wouldn't know unless you tell us, Colleen, that, oh, fire department or public safety, it's out of their payroll, but actually general doesn't, because you would think training, it's just class, to me, it would just be classes and mileage, maybe. So that would be helpful.
Becky?
So should we, and may I suggest, under public safety or public works, training is a different line than payroll? Because we don't know where we're at on payroll and or training on public safety, if it's just $8,000. That could be whatever comes out of that account.
I think that
Well, but I think Colleen tracks that, like,
Yeah, you-
I think for the fire department, it's different. Correct me if I'm wrong, because we have monthly trainings that we have to do.
Right,
And
so that comes out of
we have the
training.
that training budget, and then it is all dispersed in
I would
one.
create a training payroll
Okay.
and then keep your training expense costs, like when
Yeah, just
Divide
to,
them
just
out.
to clarify, to see
Yeah.
where we're
Okay.
at, especially year-to-date expenditures.
Okay,
That'd be good. Thank you.
sounds good. Okay. Any more, I think we're good with this, no more discussion? All right, moving on to number 8, we're getting there. Debbie Vining has rented the town hall for May 16th for a remembrance gathering. And the family has called and asked permission to serve beer and wine at the remembrance. So that's something that we have to approve.
Yeah.
We've done that in the past for some other,
Is there a precedent? There's,
We
I
also-
forget now,
We also have a policy.
a policy.
Yeah, so you can look it up online, it's, I'm so happy that we can do that. It's under the facility use policy and
Facility use policy.
it
I just
says
had-
specifically, we approve, but we must approve it, if just
Yes.
once, yeah.
right? So can I have a motion that we approve the serving of alcohol, specifically beer and wine, they said,
So moved.
on the May 16th town hall?
So moved.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carol, would you contact Debbie back? And let her know. Okay. Item number 9 is review of the 2025 Town Bridge DOT reports. Dina, you had brought this up in an email.
Yeah, I brought it up just to make sure we kept it on our radar,
Mhm.
and we don't have to discuss it at length today. But obviously, we have 3 bridges, and one is definitely up to par now. And the other 2, I mean,
Right.
this is just something we've had to deal with every year, and it's time to basically start planning to put money aside for that one. We don't have to discuss it at length today.
Okay.
I just wanted to, if not today, then the next meeting we should
Keep it on the
start,
radar.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay. All right. So then we'll
okay.
review these some more and bring them up for the next meeting. Okay, item number 10, Select Board Liaison appointments for the 2026 to March 2027 year. Last year, we specifically had it divided out for liaisons between departments and select boards. I feel like that worked well.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to continue with that and do that again. I was thinking that I would like to take the fire department again and the general government sections.
I'm happy to do general government and general assistance again. I'm not interested in doing any of the others. I feel like to get up to speed on the others, you have to take training. And like I said, the budget's quite low. In terms of time commitment, I just want to stick with the ones I have been doing.
Well, last year Steve was general government.
I was general government.
That's where I was confused.
It wasn't
The only thing I had was,
No.
I think the only thing I had was
Wasn't
Oh,
Beyond.
okay,
You did legal?
yeah.
You did legal
Yeah.
and website, like
Yeah.
basically website
Yeah,
administrator.
Yeah, but that wasn't an official title or anything. But,
But it was like, it was a category somewhere. I didn't
yeah,
bring the
okay,
notes
well,
with me to that.
okay. Yeah, all right, you could, yeah, you can continue to, then I just want the general, I'm happy to stay with general assistant. I was wrong.
I gotta work with you.
Colleen?
Tag a bit. Tag
All
a
right.
bit. I guess
So-
Robert and I are working together.
All right, so Steve, you're gonna stay with the general,
Public Works and Transfer Station.
okay. All
All right,
right,
you're public, okay, and you're doing,
And now-
okay, all right.
Lisa.
So if I've got it right, General Government Lisa, Public Works Steve,
Mhm.
Transfer Station Steve, Fire Department Lisa, General Assistant Stina.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the last regular thing I have for new items is to set a date, try to set a date for a special town meeting.
If I may,
Yes,
I think we need to wait till we come to agreement on the articles.
okay.
I think it's too early at this time to set a date.
I concur.
All right, then we will table it till next time. All right, a couple of things under miscellaneous matters, just to mention here so that we keep in mind for the budget as we're coming up. Peter Hall, the town auditor, did mention in the March 17th meeting that we had that if we get the grant to build a fire department, we will be spending over $1 million, which will trigger a federal compliance audit.
If we spend, just to be clear, if we spend over $1 million of grant money in
Mhm.
1 year.
In 1
and
year.
Total combined
And
grant
federal
money.
money.
So it could be Lisa's grant money,
Right.
it could be the fire
Correct.
department. If we spend over $1 million in 1 year, it triggers a
What's that?
federal
Federal
compliance audit.
compliance audit.
That's my understanding as well.
And a federal compliance audit probably comes with a bigger price tag.
Right.
Simple as that.
Bigger price tag, but I think also
And scrutiny.
scrutiny in terms of our
Yes,
paperwork.
scrutiny.
Yep.
Right, which is where your spreadsheet,
Yeah, would help,
we
but,
can, like she was saying, to keep adding things into the different categories. We'll need that documentation, so.
and then anything when we approve things for special town meeting, you know,
Mhm.
that has to be documented correctly.
Yep.
So if we can, start really moving toward that, then when the audit hopefully occurs, when we get our grants, then we'll be practiced and prepared and have everything that we need,
Or
so.
if we spend $999,000 in 1 year.
Okay, so that was just a mention, something to keep in mind.
I have an
oh.
item that didn't
Sure.
make, we've spoken about Archie's. There's been some concern about Archie's not recovering when they need to, things like that.
Mhm.
I reached out to a competitor who said, I've been expecting calls from a lot of towns.
Mhm.
He says, I don't like to diss anyone, but it's doing good for me for business, and we won't name names, sort of thing. He did send me a quote, which is very detailed. Each line item, the compactor, the bulky construction debris, the steel, the 30-yard metal container we have, and the zero sorts, including charges for trucking, charges for per tonnage, if there were any, and monthly charges for the zero sort. Basically, that's a monthly rental charge. They charge us a flat. They would charge us a flat charge, and they would come weekly to empty it. So that was very clear in the quote. When I reached out to our incumbent, when I reached out to Archie's, because I can't make heads or tails nor Colleen of the bills that we're getting,
Mhm.
they gave me a very generic response, which was at a different rate than what we seem to be paying, and it wasn't detailed. So I think I have to pursue pursue further with Archie's what our real rates are. It doesn't appear that Archie's charges us a rental for our, at face value, I can't see that they charge us a rental. But it may be baked into the rates too, because this competitor would charge us a rental fee for each of the containers. If that is, even if that's true, it looks like competition is still favorable to Archie's. You see their trucks everywhere, so
Yeah.
we won't mention the name at this
Yeah.
point. But
Yeah,
Lisa,
that's good.
Oh, yes.
I would just like to thank you, Steve, for all the work you've done at the transfer station.
Well, I haven't done
I
much.
think that's an area that's difficult, and I really appreciate what you've done there and how you've come forward with a lot of things that we can do there, and I think we have some needed changes, and we appreciate you doing what you're doing.
the single biggest thing to me is it's an eyesore. We haven't spent any money on it, and there's no encouragement to spend money on it. The fence is falling down. It really does look like a mess. The wind blows the trash around. We need to find a better solution to secure the area, make it look presentable. You drive by you drive through Carthage and you see their nice sign and it's hidden behind, you drive right by ours and it's out there for everyone to see the mess. So
Well,
I
you're
think-
doing a great job anyhow, thank you.
Thank you.
While we're talking about the transfer station, we do have the new Maine Waste to Energy
Rates.
rates that we
Everybody's going
need
up.
to
Tipping fees are up.
sign. Yep.
One other advantage, if I may, for this competitor, they're based out of Fairfield and they have their own waste facility.
Okay.
So we would only have to truck to their own facility, which is where they're based.
So how would that,
It would lower our costs for trucking.
The main waste would go away.
this would
Maine
go
Waste would
away,
go away.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But we
Yeah.
don't know if total, the cost is still less.
The tipping fee
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
$104.95 a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great research. I think where we're at, it's definitely important to consider alternatives. I think right now it's giving us a chance to really understand where we're at with Archie's. The thing is, as famous as Archie's is, and they're getting so much, flack everywhere else, I think the service here, from what I understand talking to people, and my personal experience is nothing has changed for us except the recycling thing. But
What's
some people wanted to understand the recycling.
So there's two additional things there, if I may, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. There's what provoked this, or what started all this. I received an email from a representative of Archie's, an employee, who suggested that they were unhappy and were looking to unionize.
Yeah.
So that tells me why there were some of the disruptions in service. The other thing there is, I've forgotten what. Oh, the question came about recycling, saying a number of people in town were concerned why we went from sort to single source. To be honest, I can't believe there were a number of people, but at least the question is valid. What Archie's couldn't answer, but what this competitor did answer is, recycling is a money pit. It requires, when you have humans doing it, it's very laborious, and there's nobody that makes less than $20 an hour now. Hourly wages are going up. So everyone's moving toward automation. Once you move to automation, your costs go down and you can recycle everything. The automation actually reads, it flips things over and says, oh, this is a number 3 plastic, and sends it up. And it does all that sorting for you that humans didn't do well and cost too much. We may have sorted in the past into those barrels. That meant they had to have a truck come by that had all these bins. And as you know, we weren't taking all of the recyclables because the truck only has so many bins that you can dump into. That truck's expensive to operate, and it had a bin for metal, and it had a bin for plastic, or opaque plastic, and it had a bin for glass, and clear glass and brown glass. So it was only so many bins on that truck. That truck's expensive to operate. Now they can take this dumpster that we have, which is, it's a regular 10-yard dumpster, dump it in the back of a regular trash truck, and drive it to the recycling center, dump the trash truck, and the sort's done all automatically. So their cost for the trucks is down. The cost for the guy to get out of the truck and dump it into the bin is down. And their sort is down because it's automated. It's, even when there's downtime and everything else, that automation, the return on investment versus the labor was incredibly fast. That's what this competitor mentioned to me.
Steve, I would bet that our sorted recycle went to a place that dumped it all together.
Very likely.
Because
Very
that's
likely.
what they've been, I mean, that's what I taught in school.
Sorting is
That's
pretty-
all they've done
Yep.
for 20 years.
Yep.
That was very old fashioned.
Yep.
So,
As with the other that we were discussing, do we have a contract with that company
We
right
do not
now?
have a contract with
No?
Archie's.
We do?
We do not
We
have a
do not.
contract with Archie's.
Would a new company be able to take waste oil again?
I have to ask that question. I didn't.
That's a good question, because we
Thank you.
have a lot of
I
that.
did not ask that question.
What about tires?
Tires, we have a source now that is, it's a fair rate that we're paying. But I will ask about tires as well.
Robert, did you have?
Did you ever look into, like what we do, take your own trash to Norwich Walk?
We can. We can bring it to Fairfield.
Yeah, because we saved a lot of money by buying our own truck and trucking it ourselves.
The compacting dumpster with the roll-off.
Yeah. Well, we just have a trash truck, just like Archie's, that smashes it in, and we can haul, I think, 11 ton.
So we have the compacting dumpster. That does an awful lot of compacting.
So if you
You'd
had,
have to
if
have
you
a
had the
trash
dumpster,
truck.
you own the dumpster yourself?
The compacted dumpster we own one of the bins.
You do?
That's another question that's out there because Archie's owns one and we own one.
Mhm.
When they pull one away from us, they give us one.
Oh, yeah.
What they didn't tell me is whether we're paying for the rental on that second one.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about a trash truck, I hear you, but a trash truck would have to be there and get emptied all the time.
Well,
In
we
the summertime?
only go- We only go twice a week in the summer.
In the summer, we're taking that twice a week with the big dumpster that we have.
Oh, yeah. How much does that dumpster hold?
What is it, 30 yards?
Is it 30 yards?
It's close to 30 yard,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's crushed 30 yard.
Right.
I know the town of Jay's dealing with the same issues with Archie's, and they're also looking at estimates from Gregory's and Riverside Scrap Metal, the new scrap place. I don't know if that's an option too, just to get some more numbers. They're closer, it's only in Jay.
One of them is who I'm
Oh.
working with.
Okay, yep.
I think also, I talked to the town manager, Jay, quite a bit, and I understand their situation is a little different in that Archie's comes and picks up trash. So their service has been really disrupted.
Yep.
And when I was looking at it, I was like, nothing's happened here other than positives, which was the single recycling.
Right.
So we might have a different, thing, and it's unfortunate, really unfortunate that Archie's and we don't have a contract on file, because I think to compare apples to apples, it would be great to have a contract. And I don't know if they'll give you one or we have it in our records, but if you have to start from scratch, my suggestion, how we're doing it, you can take one of the contracts from the people you're talking to.
Yep.
Because the proposal has a contract, right?
Yep.
So use that and ask Archie's all those questions, basically.
Oh, that's-
Right? Because, that's a huge list of services, and then we
Here's
can
what we have, how
compare.
much are we paying?
Yeah, it's a good template.
Line it up for me,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And what I didn't share, and maybe I just alluded to and not very clear, the problems, we are having problems with Archie's, and you don't hear about it probably because you don't hear it from Judy. Judy will call to have that compacting dumpster emptied. She's only there 2 days a week. If she gets there on the second day and it's still full, we're up the creek. And come summertime, we're really gonna be up the creek, because that thing's full, there's no place to put your trash.
Right,
People don't want that.
right, no.
The winter time, when this came about, it was the dead of winter, and the employee that contacted me saying they were going to unionize, and there could be a strike. It's the best time to start looking at this, because it's the worst, it's the lowest generation of trash that we have. 375 people in town as opposed to 10,000.
Right.
Great, okay. All right, so we'll continue to work on that. That sounds
You need
very
it one time
promising.
then?
No, you're fine. And the last thing, that I have listed on here is that we have to sign the RSU 9 budget warrant before we leave tonight. And then also, to let everybody know, we received an email from Debbie Smith, and she we've talked and she knows I'm gonna announce this tonight, but she is going to be resigning from the RSU 9 school board. I've talked with the superintendent's office about how we move forward with this. She will be submitting a formal letter to the school board. She needs to do that with her end date, whether it's going to be effective immediately or her term ends June 1st. And then the school board will then send the town of Weld a letter to let us know that she's resigned. And then we, as a select board, can appoint somebody to fill in to fill in for her until our next election. So it would be until next, late February, March. And then after that, the person that is voted in at that election would fill in for her last 2 years on the school board. So if anyone's interested, then keep that in mind that it'll be coming. And I would say if anyone is interested, you could let us know. And we'll, as soon as we get the letter from the RSU 9 saying that she has officially resigned, then we'll post that and get the word out to everybody and move forward from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Yeah,
Skipped over
I did.
2 miscellaneous. Questions?
Well, that's a lot of work, but anyway.
Much thanks to Debbie, because
Oh,
I was on the school board for 6 years. It's a lot of work, and I think Debbie was on a lot of the committees, and we appreciate all that she put into it, and thank her.
Absolutely. All right, does anyone have any questions or comments before we close?
Our ADA compliancy, we have until 2028 now. They've
Oh.
extended it another year.
Wow. Good. We'll be all set then.
Yes,
We would have been all set anyway.
Anyways, still.
Perfect. All right.
You gonna announce the select board meeting time?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, the proposal, I have a conflict, so.
Okay. All right. So,
I will be gone from April 30th to May 20th.
okay.
So this is my 3-week road trip.
That's okay.
If
All right.
we could do it after May 20th.
All
Okay,
right.
that works. Well, okay, so I'm just not available on the 12th, but I could do it before or after. If we're trying to keep with the tradition of second or fourth, third Tuesday.
Okay. So you could do it the one before or
I could do
after?
5th, or I could do the 19th. Or the 26th, really good. I'm just
Right, if we
saying.
were trying to keep
Yeah.
it up. Let's do, you want to do the 19th?
Okay,
Is that,
sure.
I know you'll be.
If I get back on the
Yeah.
19th, I'll be in Virginia. If I can drive back, I'll be back.
Well, I want you to be safe, of course, but, okay. All right. So the next select board meeting will be May 19th at 5:30
Sounds good.
here in the multi-purpose room.
So you're thinking the special town meeting's gonna be after that?
Well, that's a good question.
The last truck payment is due in June, and that's $13,000.
But if the payment's already scheduled and approved, so like Peter was saying, if it's something that's already in there, that we don't have to get approval for that, that's already in the budget.
I didn't think he said that.
I don't think that's the interpretation. That's not my understanding, but.
No, it wasn't my understanding. But I'll double check with him.
And I think we're gonna get comments and.
Yes.
I mean, we're flexible in terms of calling a emergency
Yes.
select board meeting to schedule this, so it
Right.
doesn't have to be after the 19th.
Right, as soon as we can,
Yeah.
we will. Hopefully we'll have comments by the end of the week.
I
Yes,
have a
Karen?
question. How often I'm looking at tax documents on the website, and if the tax documents don't match what it is currently, what is the time frame as far as pictures on the tax documents that are presented by the gentleman who does the taxes for us.
O'Donnell?
O'Donnell. What is the turnaround if something happens to a building, if it's extended, if it's enlarged, if it's burnt? How often do those records get updated, and what's the expectation? Do you have any guidelines? Does the town have any guidelines for
They get
O'Donnell?
updated when our new assessment year starts, like on April 1st. You won't see any changes until commitment goes out.
So it's annually though.
So it's in.
It's annually. But it's not on January 1st, because our tax year for 2026,
Okay.
we don't do the assessing and get anything changed on O'Donnell's website or even in our records until after we've committed taxes.
Okay, so then, what we've proposed then earlier in discussion will work out great in our favor. Can I? We have an application for the planning board, and the tax documents that are provided show something that isn't there anymore. So, but the tax, O'Donnell says that this building is still there. So I was just curious what the timing was, the expectation, how things should be changing on the O'Donnell site, so that when we get documents as a planning board to review, it's accurate. If it's not accurate and it's coming to us as a board from the town, then our job is, we have to do an on-site job ourselves we have to go out as a group, so that would delay applications, so.
The only way a building will come off is if it's burned or it's torn down, if they notify the town office that it's no longer there. 'Cause
Okay, so we have
if
some
they
things
don't
to work out.
contact, if they don't contact somebody, we don't know that it's not there any longer.
Okay, I will send an email to you folks on a couple of things, just as housekeeping within the town, and, okay, thank you.
I think that question is, I mean, it's important for the planning board's work, and for just the taxpayer to know. So I think you should contact O'Donnell himself and ask how, like, because if your applications and stuff don't jive with that, how
So
can you
I-
rely on that data?
And
So I would like to understand more. I
So
do
I
know
can-
about what
Since I have a
Carol
live
said.
application, I can call them legally.
He's not legal, so you don't have to worry about that. I mean, he is, of course, he's
No, but
abiding by it, but he's not a lawyer. That comment was given to you from MMA Legal.
Correct,
Yeah, but you're gonna call O'Donnell, who's an assessor,
okay.
tax assessor, and he, I think, will answer questions from us, will answer questions from planning board. You're planning your application process.
So then this is why, then having the CEO's job to go out and take a look at
Yeah,
every application is beneficial, because what we get with our application
it's out of date.
is not accurate.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
If it wasn't accurate.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, I think, yeah.
I can do that.
All right, anything else? All right, can I have a
Motion to
motion
adjourn.
to adjourn?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.